Oh, hey, we're here. We got my brother today, Braxton Beckham.
Hello, hello.
Would you like to just give a little bit of an introduction and kind of just go from there?
Just sort of who I am
Who
generally.
you are, what you're doing, what you've been up to, you know.
Sure. Hello, everybody. My name is Braxton Beckham. You may recognize me from performing alongside this fellow gentleman in a little-known movie called Blended. So I've been working as an actor since I was 9 years old, which to date myself would be about 14, 15 years now, roughly. So I have a couple minutes in the child acting game. So I've been doing that ever since I was a young boy. Originally, I'm from Texas, is where I grew up before then. Moved to California around that age, and then just been acting, been in a few other TV shows, guest spots, that type of thing. Then decided that I wanted to go to college and get a screenwriting degree because I discovered I also have a passion for writing. And so spent 4 lovely years at Chapman, and now I'm out in the free world going on auditions as per usual, and then in my free time I'm writing away with my pen and pen.
Do you miss that in-person kind of audition side?
So much.
Let him know. Tell him why.
I will go on my rant here on my pedestal. I believe, don't get me wrong, there are many advantages to doing tapes. The main advantage being you can do them whenever you want, which makes it so nice for if you need a side job or something else to help to support yourself. Yeah. You know that I can work my 9 to 5 and then just do my audition later that night when I get home.
Come home, anyone has access to do the audition. Literally anyone can do the audition in the entire world. They can be in wherever and still do it. So
you can submit from anywhere, and so there are a lot of conveniences for it. It didn't really matter back then if you got it, if you booked it. If you got the audition, that was a win, and then if you got a callback. But that was really the main thing was if you got a callback, you knew that you were doing something right. Because that meant that casting liked you, casting wanted to see more of you. So even if you didn't book it, you knew that, okay, they like what I'm providing. I'm giving them another option, another something. If you were getting callbacks consistently, it just became a matter of time at that point. Yeah. But now, with everything being on tape, they just take that same tape and they send it all the way up the ladder to the casting people, to the producers, to the directors, to network, to whoever. So it's you do one tape, and then if it's a TV pilot or a lead in a feature, then maybe you get one in-person audition. Yeah. But otherwise, you don't know if you were they didn't even look at your tape, or if you were the number 2 pick that they just happened to not go with. So
they can literally scroll through. They're scrolling through 1,000 kids. And they're just, all right, I like to watch this one, and they'll just watch it, see it, and then see what's up. And that whole in-person, you could even you could tell just from running the audition with that other reader, you could see from their emotions, in a way, that feedback in general. You get no feedback here. You get nothing. And it's not, you don't even hear if you do well unless you get that callback, unless you do something else. Which, I mean, dude, they don't even have callbacks nowadays. It's that's not, and if it is a callback, it's also on Zoom. So it's not really in person, and you're trying to recreate that feel of being in the room and then just being there. How did it feel working with Adam Sandler? You know,
a beast, such a nice guy.
Oh yeah.
I the scene that always comes to mind for me as the scene, at least for me, is definitely the boxing scene.
Yeah.
That was my audition scene that I had to do, and man, I went through that scene with my coach so many times. We ran that thing into the ground. But I just remember getting on set. We had to get up so early that day. I remember we were all so tired.
Oh yeah.
And then just having to go round for round and winning more anger, Braxton, punch harder. But Adam was just so just so graceful on set at all times. He was always making sure that all of us, the kids, were taken care of especially well, of just making sure that we were having a good time, making sure that we weren't getting too stressed out about anything. And he really emphasized that this is about the work, this is about making a really great film that people are gonna love and enjoy. But also it was he really emphasized the vacation side of it as well. It's just hey, we're all here in Africa, this is a once in a lifetime experience. I wanna make sure that this is something that they're going to be able to enjoy and remember for a long time. So I just always really appreciated that. about him and how he was always scheduling whenever we did have times where we could the kids aren't going to be shooting for the next 3 or 4 days or whatever. He would schedule safaris for us to go on and all these other extracurricular activities. And so he was just really just a great leader of a set.
Oh yeah, we got to pull up to Adam's Africa vacation. Dude, he was where do we want to go film? Guys, all right, let's collude.
I swear. That is how he decides what movies he's going to do. Is he just takes a dart, throws it at a map. It's all right, vacation movie set there. Got it. So my casting story for Blended is a little bit different than the rest of y'all.
All right.
Because I was the last one to be cast out of the crew.
I remember. I was alone, dude. I was alone on set. I was the only guy there for I don't even know how long. I was alone. But
you're all by your lonesome until I came to save you.
Yes, you did. You saved me.
Yeah. So originally they had another actor was booked for the role of Brendan, but there was a mishap with some contracts. He was booked for another show at the same time, and he originally signed that contract first, so they were able to kind of pull priority. He had to go work on that other show, so suddenly they had already had everything cast. He already went to the table read, so I didn't even go to the original table read for Blended. I was not there.
Table read was different, and your character got switched 3 times, literally.
3 times.
Because table read was one kid who played guitar and was able to. I don't know. They didn't like his table read at all. His table from what I remember, his table read was just normal, and it was to the point where you somewhat had to stand out because even at the table read, Joey King was there for Emma.
Oh yeah. Oh, I remember that. I remember Emma talking about that.
Yeah, so they had a different person for that, and then once the table read ended, and then they were doing a screen test or whatever. It was that other kid from, I believe at the time, with that one that mentioned that he had that contract issue, but he did Super 8 or something like that before.
I think so.
But that didn't work out either, and I'm very glad that it didn't. You know.
So I was the last one cast, but because of that meant that they were in a rush to try and find whoever their kid was going to be for this. Mm-hmm. So this is kind of true for honestly anything that I've ever booked. I never have gone through the traditional checks and balances to get a part. It's always some last minute, we need you tomorrow, please come in. So basically what happened was I got the request to do the tape, and so I worked with my coach for a while to submit that to them. Maybe a week or something goes by, I do one callback, and then another little bit of time goes by, and I do a director's session with Frank, and I go into that, perform. At this point, I'm still my hopes aren't too high. You're you never know.
You never know.
You can never hear about this again in your life, so it's you just go in and do your best. Cool to meet Frank. Mm-hmm. And I specifically remember on my way out of that audition, for some reason the door was unusually heavy, especially for a little 12-year-old boy.
Was this in the Samsung building or something, or no? Is this a different spot? Or?
I think it was I think that may have been where my callback was, but I think it was different. But I just remember trying to open the door and kind of not lifting it as much as I thought I would. So I only had a crack so I did a weird spin out, and the door hits me as I'm leaving, and I just hear them laughing about it as I'm going out. I'm I don't know, Mom, that one wasn't I wasn't feeling it. But so then the craziness of the story sets in, because after that, only a few days later, I get a call that I'm gonna go and read for it again. And I'm okay, cool. I'm getting really far on this. This is interesting. And so, but it's just whatever. The interesting thing was, I was told by my agent, go in, don't dress his hair at all. Don't look nice. Roll out of bed and go to the audition. I was okay, this is a little strange. But so we start driving there. My mom's got the GPS going, and we didn't check it out beforehand. But as we're driving, we're realizing we're kind of going through the hills. We're kind of going in some nice area, and Mom's looking at the address, and it's this address leads to a house. It doesn't lead to a casting office. Are you sure you gave us the right address? And then my agent goes, oh yeah, you're going to Drew Barrymore's house. That's where you're supposed to be heading. And my mom's jaw drops, of course, not realizing this is what we were doing today. Super excited, of course. And I just remember that I don't remember if I was the last of the day, or I think there were only I think there were 2 or 3 kids that also went. But the thing that I specifically remember standing out was I was sitting next to her pool, just waiting to go into this tiny room where she had it set up. And the kid that went in before me was preppy, like dressed to the nines in a very nice like sweater vest, like hair combed over, and I was just like, oh no. Like I got the wrong info. I'm not dressed nice. I'm not dressed how I'm supposed to be. Like this is gonna go terrible. I walk into the room. The very first thing that happens is Drew looks at me, screams my name like Braxton, and then like comes over and just gives me a hug like instantaneously. And I'm like, I think I'm doing all right. Like I guess it's going well. But so I do a read with her. Drew Barrymore, of course, extremely lovely. Like the most nurturing, motherly person you have ever met.
Literally.
And so we like run through it once, and do it like one more time I think after that. And then she was very complimentary, like but all the usual stuff. And so then I head out, and Mom and I we're on the moon. All right, we're like we got to go to Drew Barrymore's house. This is a fun time. Like no matter what, Aces fun life experience. So we're enjoying that. We like go to Starbucks or something just to decompress for a minute. And then we get another email from my agent being like, hey, sounds like Drew liked you at the read. You're going to go to Adam Sandler's house now. And I was like...
now you have to go to Adam's house? Okay, Drew's house in the morning, Adam's house in the afternoon. That's a lot of play
I had no idea I was doing any of this the day before. I just woke up and was told to get in the car. So I'm going to Adam's house. And it was funny because he had just finished celebrating, I think it was his oldest daughter's birthday. So I get in there, I'm meet Adam like kind of at the door, and then he's just leading my mom and me through his house that's got like party streamers going everywhere. Like everyone else is at the pool or something. They're all having a good time. And then I just get into Adam's office where it was very like pristine, like very nicely kept office. He had this very like rich mahogany desk type vibe. Of course, you know. And the thing that was interesting about that was I went in like I'm running over those sides so many times. Like this is how I've done it before. Like this is what Drew seemed to like, and trying to figure out like how I'm gonna do this read. And then the whole time it was just Adam talking to me, like seeing like, hey, like so what do you think about this? Like Drew seemed to really like you. And really what my mom and I think was he also asked a lot of questions to my mom as well. And so our sort of headcanon of what my mom and I think was going down was. We think after the read with Drew that I was already kind of Drew's pick for it. And Adam was really checking to see how my mom was going to react. Because some of you may be aware of this, but acting mothers can have a bit of a reputation at times. And so I think he was really testing her to see like, okay, are you going to be chill? How are you going to be to work with? Because as much as they're working with like the child that's actually on set, they're having to work with the parents or whoever's their guardian, like just as much to see how they're going to be able to influence that set. So honestly, I think my mom was kind of the one that passed the vibe check.
That's great. You love that.
And then after that, Adam was literally like, okay, great. Like you've got the part, buddy. Basically tomorrow you're going to do a physical to make sure you don't have any diseases or anything. You're cleared to travel. I was on the plane like 2 days later.
A callback today. I think I went into probably like 3 or 4 callbacks for this. So like how we mentioned earlier, there's no such thing as callbacks. This was 3 to 4 callbacks, and I remember just having to keep going to the Samsung building, and it was like, okay, you finish set, like and you gotta go get out of the whole hospital gown and stuff, get in the car, and you're gonna go over there, and you're gonna go and audition. I remember going into the audition, I obviously was still happy-go-lucky, and it was really like what you said. I think Drew was the main person that, for playing her kids, like, she was the one who really wanted to decide because, like, we were running, it was even in the audition, it was with Drew. It was like, run it back and forth, and it was all of Adam's homies in the back, you know, and it's literally like, they remember seeing, and they were talking to me, and they were, I think I saw you also on a goldfish commercial, and I was like,
really?
Yeah, that was me. Like I was eating so much goldfish, my tongue turned yellow, and I was talking to the guys like that. So it was really about, I guess, creating that, like, can you vibe on set? Can you be a good person? And I think that's what really, I guess, kind of pushed it. And I, at first, didn't get the role. They gave it to the other kid at first. And then they said, hey, look, Drew loves you. Like, Drew wants you at the table read. You got to come through. You got to do it. And when I did the table read, that first scene where we go like this, t-shirts on fire, and how I sang it. I sang that for the table read. So I think that, at least when I said that for the beginning of the table read, that's where I kind of chilled out. I relaxed. I was like, these people like me in a way, you know, like they laughed at it. And I was, for the table read, I was like reading it 3-4 times beforehand.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Right, every single line that it was me, I had a tab on the side. I was like, boom, like I'm running this up, like, you know, to the max. But it was an interesting process. But even then, like, even after they said we booked it and stuff, me and my mom's ideology was like, no, it's not even when you land, like, until you're filming.
Yeah.
Until
that camera turns on, and you're the one in front of it.
Then you're not. Nothing is at all set.
It is tough. I mean, casting. It's an entire art form within itself. I still want to be able to like talk to more casting directors to see how they feel about this. Because on the one hand, it's really good for casting directors in that it takes away. You don't have to have your own offices, so it takes away a lot of the costs of needing to manage that type of thing. And like you were saying before, like it really widens your range to where you can see so many more people. But with that, it comes with a certain amount of decision paralysis to where, before you may see like, if it was really like going out calling everyone on the town, like you may see like 100, 200, 250 people for this. Now all of a sudden it's like you could have 1,000 tapes that you're having to look through, and you're not going to be able to see anything past like the first 5 seconds for each tape. And so much of that now just kind of depends on even your look. Like I know for a fact there have been so many tapes that I submit, and just the moment they see me for 5 seconds and the way my face moves, they're like, no, this isn't it.
It's just like that's why I like it's those auditions I feel like that you really can see yourself in. Like, it's like there's a lot of auditions that you can I can maybe it's a stretch, but I can see it. If it's a stretch, it's a stretch, you know? Like in this day and age, is you gotta be the guy I feel like the guy they're envisioning, you know, like, and I feel like a lot of the actors that are established nowadays, like, they have their personalities, like a Bill Hader is a Bill Hader, like I don't even know how to really like explain it really, but like I just see like Seth Rogen as a specific like, you know, person in a way, like, and so it's kind of harder to establish our identity in a way, you know, and like what we're doing and who we are as a personality. So it's all up in the air. I guess we're just trying to figure that out.
Out with her, but I do remember like the only trip I can really remember doing with Bella was I think we all went to Six Flags.
Yes.
And that was the blast I remember. Like we all got to enjoy getting terrified on a roller coaster at the same time.
Oh yeah, and I remember people were calling her out in the front, Bella, 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 you know, and she was getting obviously swarmed, bothered by a bunch of people, but she was very nice. And I even remember she forced her boyfriend from California to come over to Africa. She was like, yo, you are coming to Africa, and so I remember that. She was telling me about the hat and stuff. Okay, you guys got time. I'm sorry, this stuff better be whatever.
He's going on a rampage.
She told me to wear my hat like this. At the time, this is what, 2010, 2012 or something? Or
it was 2013.
2013? She told me to wear my hat not like this, completely off. It has to be resting on the back. It cannot be down straight like that. It's got to be like this, guys. Bella told me this is the way that my hat should look.
Exactly.
On a day-to-day basis, this is the cool way. This is what cool kids do. So you guys heard it here first.